r/ask Reddit. Which subculture annoys you the most? Dunno if this has already been stated, but I hate weed culture. I smoke, and I'm all for legalization and recreational use, but I hate trying to talk with heavy potheads or stoners about anything weed related. Like that documentary that gets reposted to r/documentaries 50 times a week. It says, have you ever wondered if there's a plant with 2,000 different recreational uses and can cure many deadly diseases? It's obnoxious and annoying. Edit. The post in question https://www.reddit.com/documentaries comment/66 the most powerful plant on earth 2017 what if st equals j6q8h5lt and sh equals 5e78 afdb. Well, we don't care about them at all and just want to get high s. Vape lords. I vape. I do it in the privacy of my own home. I don't brag about my setup nor care about yours. We're both addicted to nicotine. It's not that cool. Yep, I used one for 10 months to quit smoking. It worked great as a cessation tool. I was courteous and discreet about when and where I used it. Many people are not, and use it for years, and obnoxiously so. But I've been smoke free over 3 years, and haven't used a vape in over 2. Edit. Oh geez. Thanks for the gold. Good for you, man. Hope I can kick the habit one day. If you do, you're acting white. I am a minority and I've grown up with friends who are also minorities. This type of mentality is so toxic and can be flat out racist. I remember a friend of mine not wanting to lose weight and eat healthier because her parents would tell her it wasn't their culture. Another friend who was told if they speak properly they're speaking white. Or in my own family, when I was trying diet and eating chicken and vegetables, they said, why are you eating like white people? Edit. Wow. I did not expect this much response. You guys are great. I'm glad that I wasn't the only one that felt this way. Keep on keeping on, Redditors. Do what you like and duck what everyone else says. Edit 2. After reading the comments, I realized that maybe my comments sounded one-sided. This was based on my own experience, and when I wrote this I was half asleep after the night shift at work. I went to a diverse college and I recall some of my white friends afraid to like certain artists or do certain things because people would say the same if you do X. You're insert race here. Sometimes I'm like, can you just duck off and leave me alone, lol. Seriously though, I've learned to have the attitude of if you don't pay my bills, you get no opinion. My brother tutors inner city kids and he tells me all the time about kids getting ridiculed for trying to learn and getting good grades. That they're acting white. That shit is toxic and self-destructive. You can't go anywhere if you keep tearing yourself down. Incels. There is some serious untreated mental illness going on in that community. Just about all of them are most likely clinically depressed, and many of them probably have more serious issues. Rather than deal with those issues, they externalize them all and blame women for everything. The funny thing is, it's the one subreddit that all of Reddit collectively hates. Liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, gamers, anime fans, potheads, skinheads, doesn't matter. Everyone doesn't like the incels. It's probably one of the few things that Reddit can all agree on, outside the incels themselves. The funny thing is, it's the one subreddit that all of Reddit collectively hates. They even hate themselves. It's one of the saddest communities. I'm not really sure that's the best word I've had the displeasure to stumble across. Rick and Morty culture is ducking pathetic. To be clear, that show is both very funny and very smart. I do get it, but the people who use it like a ducking guidebook for their own life are the lowest bottom feeding inept invertebrates of our era. It is a ducking TV show that satirizes modern life and customs using extreme versions of ideas personified. It is the same shit as the kids who watched Fight Club and became Antifa, or the people who watched V for Vendetta and now identify as anarchists. How little meaning and depth must your life have that a piece of media can come to define your existence and thought? Read more ducking books. Develop a more three-dimensional personality and understanding. Then watch these fun critiques. Laugh. Maybe learn a bit. But be enough of a person to not become consumed by the first moderately intelligent thought that passes through your thick dome. Edit. Spelling the right word. I'm just like Rick. My intelligence makes me depressed. Oh, so edgy and tortured. Ladies love that dude. Fandoms that are obsessed with shipping their favorite characters then overly sexualizing them. Edit. Since many people are asking, shipping, initially derived from the word relationship, is the desire by fans for two or more people, either real life people or fictional characters, to be in a relationship, romantic or otherwise. r/anime on suicide watch. r/hand holding. I'm not sure if it's the most, but there's a special place in my rage heart for anyone who has to describe music genres with 8 different adjectives. No, bro, this is different. This is new-core screecher metal. You're thinking of screecher metalcore. Nope, I live a Crayola 8-pack life and I don't have time for that shit in any capacity. I live a Crayola 8-pack livery, want to have some version of this carved onto my tombstone. Even worse in the EDM scene, where you're divided by your BPM preference. Artists. I love art, but there's a shit ton of pretentiousness I wish wasn't there. I love art and do my own art too, but I agree, musicians, painters, photographers, etc. There will always be a group of them that thinks everything they do is beyond amazing. They're so much better than everyone else and couldn't possibly have anything to learn from anyone or benefit from constructive criticism. I'm happy with my level of talent, but there will always be someone better than me, and I'm always happy to take advice or suggestions as long as it's done respectfully. Sometimes it's not helpful and sometimes it is. I'm not Freddie Mercury or Van Gogh or Ansel Adams. Why would I look down on someone else who is doing what I love, and why would I pass up the opportunity to potentially grow and get better? I went to art school and, in their defense, they sort of have to, just to keep going often you have to think you're great, or you stop after 2 years, especially if you haven't generated money. The second reason is they have to sell themselves to prospective buyers. Yes, themselves. Often more than the product they are making. They are the product. No one's really going to hire someone who's like, I think I'm getting good. Nah, they want someone who talks the talk and looks confident. Competitive moms. Oh god, mom communities are so horrible. Seriously, I left my main mom group after every gathering turned into who can throw the best party, and when moms would be like, let's have a play date, and then some other mom would be like, let's make it a potluck, and then, how much money can I pitch in to make this play date amazing? F that noise. I just want to show up with my kid whilst sporting sweatpants, messy hair, and a cup of coffee and watch our children poorly share with each other. Edit. Everyone's responses have made me giggle. Thank you. I hang out in smaller numbers now, with women who get it. I'm grateful to not have to keep up with the Janices and do my thing. Parenting is hard enough already without women being competitive. People that think that their astrological sign has something to do with their personality. Like, no, you're not a beach because you're X sign, you're a beach because you are a beach. When I was younger, people told me I was moody or wishy-washy or whatever because I'm a Gemini. This summer I found out that, while I am a Gemini, my real problem is that I'm bipolar. What if you're bipolar because you're Gemini? Stans. Worshipping and obsessing over celebrities' internet personalities, making your entire identity based around them, etc. It's honestly pretty disturbing to see how so much of their time and energy is devoted to a single person, who doesn't even know they exist, and likely never will, considering the term originated from the Eminem song, and they openly use it and embrace it. You figure they'd realize how ducking weird it is. I'm sure some of them are just kids who don't know any better, but I know there are older teens and young adults who do this stuff as well. Edit. Apparently the term stan is just used interchangeably with fan in a lot of fan bases. My post isn't about normal fans, or even longtime fans who have all of an artist's music, merch, etc. This is about people who craft their identities and personalities around them, spend every waking moment devoted to them, know every detail about their personal lives, and in some cases, even stalk them in real life. That's what the term was originally supposed to be about. But it's clearly lost some meaning by people not using it properly. If you don't like the negative connotation that it brings, you probably shouldn't be using it to describe yourself unless you're actually a stan. At first I thought you meant inhabitants of some Near Eastern countries. Me too. I thought, what the duck did Kyrgyzstan do to you? Straight edge kids. I'm fine with sobriety, but when they started knocking cigarettes and drinks out of people's hands and beating up the drunkest people they could find, I stopped going to shows. The straight edge kids I grew up around stopped following after they turned 21. They harassed everyone for not being straight edge, and then the minute they were of legal drinking age, they were drinking. Friend in high school was a borderline alcoholic but was crazy against smoking pot. At a party senior year, a group of us went outside to smoke a bowl and he said he wanted to join. We were shocked but also kind of excited that he had come around. We gave him first hit and he blew into the bowl as hard as he could, making all the weed fly out. It was very clearly intentional. He let out a half-assed "oops my bad" and went back inside. He was very drunk, so we weren't gonna call him on it just to hear him insist it was an accident, but we all knew him well and it was clearly not a mistake. People who ruin beautiful old wood furniture by antiquing it with milk paint and then sanding the edges corners to make it look worn, thereby guaranteeing you can't strip and refinish it. Duck them and their shabby chic aesthetic. No, dummy, you didn't rehab it. You just ruined a beautiful solid oak dresser and now I want to punch you. Edit. My bigger problem is when people try to resell these antiqued items at some kind of insane markup, as if they have improved the object. If people were doing this shit in the privacy of their own homes and not parading it around in public, that would be fine. Shabby chic your home to your heart's content, but keep it away from me. Antique, handcrafted wood furniture is generally of excellent quality and is increasingly hard to come by, so seeing a piece of it ruined breaks my heart. And no, I'm not Ron Swanson, but my husband is pretty dang close. A friend of mine worked at an exclusive furniture shop and his job was to make their new items look a bit worn. A perfectly good looking new couch, for instance. He had to sand the seats, find some dust, etc., and make it look like it came out of a rich old grandma's house. Then they would sell it for a lot of money. It was horrible really, but people paid for it. The whole Mac versus Windows and Android versus iPhone debate. WHO, the duck cares. Just use what's best for you. Edit. I forgot Linux. Also, I need to clarify something based on the replies I'm getting. When I say use what's best for you, I mean use what's best for you. Both Mac and PC have their ups and downs, and same with iPhone and Android. They are built for different types of people and different audiences. Nobody started the debate. Nobody is at fault. Nobody is unequivocally better than the other. Use what you want and leave everyone else alone. Edit to it. The damage egos and superiority complexes of people being told their devices aren't necessarily the best. This has been going on in various forms since it was Slate v Granite as a stone table thing with Ugg and Throg back in the old days. Slate FTW. Get out Granite scum. A lot of stuff has already been mentioned, such as stoners, SJWs, anti-SJWs, anti-education Republicans, people who are way too into their fandoms, adulting, etc. But one that hasn't been mentioned that annoys the shit out of me is what I call gluten-free yoga types. They think they're better than you and think they have all of the answers to life based on their pseudoscience. Depressed? You should just practice mindfulness. Struggle with chronic illness? It's all of that gluten you're eating. Stressed out? Do some yoga. Having some trouble at work? Shove some kale up your ass. They live by the word of Dr. Oz, David Wolfe, Chris Carr, etc. There's a 50% chance they believe that veggies can cure cancer and that vaccines cause autism. Worst of all, they preach this to you endlessly and just won't shut up about how much better they think they are than you. I had a boss like this once. She drove me nuts. Oh yes, the live laugh lovers. Eat shit die. I just ducking hate people. I'm just sick of people doing shit. I know this will probably be a touchy subject, but here goes. People who have a mixed heritage and choose to only embrace part of it because they think it's cool. For example, in college I knew a guy with the last name of Sullivan. Trust me when I say the only Irish thing about him was his last name. An actual quote by his mom and by his so. He always had to be wearing something green and wouldn't be caught dead without at least one clover leaf on him. He even insisted that everyone called him Irish instead of using his real name. I've met a number of people like this trying to be unique. The last thing they are is unique. To be honest, it is possible to just connect to one of the cultures more for whatever reason in your upbringing. For me it was that I just had more contact with that side of the family, but yet, the example you quote does seem to be a case of doing it for the cool. It's seemingly only many generation Americans with no connection to their heritage at all that do this. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.